Welcome to AltJake Takes On. Hello again, everybody. We are back. I am AltJake. You're listening to AltJake Takes On, episode number 32 for our review of Bound for Glory and Crown Jewel with my buddy George, as always. How you doing today, my friend?
Good afternoon. Happy Columbus Day to you, and happy Thanksgiving to our Canadian friends.
Ah, yes, to our Canadian brethren up in the great what? Are they White North yet? Or have they gotten their first? I'm sure some of them have. I'm sure some of them probably. Come on, for me here down in the desert, I'm just it's a whole weird world to me. But yeah, that's it should be a fun. It was a fun weekend that we had. We've had a lot to cover up from it, but I do want to thank everybody for tuning into the Bound for Glory watch along last night on Spaces. Thanks.
Yeah, we got screwed up on that, boy.
Yeah. I
had a whole plan laid out for Jake, and then
yeah. Well, in our defense, they've had started all the pay-per-views at 8 Eastern with an hour pre-show, but they did the pre-show earlier because it was their WrestleMania, so it was a longer pay-per-view. And big shout out to Chris Connor for hanging out with us for most of that too. That was a fun little time to have some conversations, and it was good. But I think between the three of us, we had most of the knowledge. He was able to fill in the blanks that we didn't.
Yeah, I would just ask him.
Yeah, it was good. It had a lot more. Yeah, it was pretty good for sure.
Worked for me. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, I wholeheartedly agree. It was
worth my $40. It was worth it. It was worth it.
Yeah, it was a good show. It was fun, and we'll get into most of we'll get into all the matches. Some of them we'll talk about more than others, but we'll start with Crown Jewel unless there's
before we get there, I keep harping on episode 30 with Howard Baum. Yep. The reason I do is because it's something we've never done before, and it's a personality that most of our listeners have never heard before. So I would suggest going back and listening to episode 30. It's really good. You get a different perspective from someone that was actually there.
Right.
That's what I like the most.
Yeah. And we've, it does seem like from the comments that we've gotten and stuff of people that it's been a good, an eye-opening experience for folks, whether either that they knew us and we're excited to hear from Howard, or knew Howard and we're happy that we were able to have the conversation with him. That was cool. It was really,
people. Steve Gennarelli from Stick to Wrestling. I've been talking to him. He's probably he might be coming on here soon. So
Sweet.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. Love it. Yeah, no, for sure. All those guys that are, I know like Howard not technically like has his own podcast, but I feel like he's like Arcadian Vanguard adjacent, that whole world of really fun and interesting conversations and podcasts from people, like you said, that were there and be able to actually live through it, whether obviously some just on TV, but Howard was there in person every week at the shows, whether he was as a fan, taking pictures, being more a part of it. And yeah, there's some really cool, I like what I kept saying is it's really a one-of-a-kind conversation. Nobody else is going to have a conversation like that than Howard, because he was there for it. It's really,
we could, if we had him on again, that would be a totally different conversation.
Right. And as far as I know, he enjoyed it. So I feel like we will definitely have to have him back sometime for sure to talk about whatever we want to cover. He's got more wrestling knowledge. I feel like that's I feel like we covered a lot of different things, but we covered the surface on some of it. Like with Dusty, we dove in a little bit, but like with his time in Memphis, like we covered basics in the beginning of it. But I mean, I'm sure he's got tons and tons of different stories. And
yeah, he just launched his Hardway Art stuff on Facebook.
Oh, so cool.
I did link that. Hardway Art. He just released like 80 different things, I think it was yesterday or day before.
I did link that in the description of episode 30. I did link to that. So and I think I did link to it in the whichever clip that we talked about it in for, and I put that on there too, because why not? Absolutely.
I just saw it yesterday. It just popped up.
Nice.
78 to 80 posters just popped up, and it's really
nice. Cool. He did say, it was funny because when we did talk to him, he did say, I've been working on some things. He's like, I've got some things on the cookers or in the hopper. Like he was. I mean, that we only did that like 2 weeks ago. So yeah, he knocked that out quick. Good for him, man. Yeah. That's awesome. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, no, I think the moment he figured out that my parents were from New Jersey and then I had enough Jersey in me where we were able to connect, and yeah, that was fun. I knew he was probably a little bit concerned or nervous to actually like meet and talk with us, but within about 2 minutes, we just ripped and rolled. That was a lot of fun. That was one of those conversations too where I never looked at the first time I looked at the clock, we'd been talking for an hour and 4 minutes. I was like, oh shit. I thought maybe we talked for a half hour, but that was a lot of fun. If you guys haven't
Unfortunately, that's kind of my gig to let the people know. I tell them I need you for an hour, and then when we start going over, I start getting a little nervous. So
hey, so far everybody does that. No one, at least from what I've until we haven't had people like checking their watches or not wanting to stay. Anybody has anybody we brought on, we've been like, oh yeah, no, I can hang out longer. We make it a fun environment for them. You know, that'll be a lot of fun. And also to make sure you guys tune in this Thursday at 8:45 p.m. Eastern for our live show right here on YouTube. We'll be going live talking about, well, most of the dynamite that's going to be on this Wednesday. If that last hour is just collision with a bunch of matches that don't matter, we don't have to watch that.
We'll see. We'll see what they do. They're going to overrun it into the third hour anyways. So.
Right. I was just going to say, we'll see how it goes, you know, but I feel like, yeah, depending on at least what the last couple of main events have been, but we will do that. Yeah, just want to make sure everybody's tuning in. Those have been a lot of fun. If you're not sure what the live show is about, I'm starting to clip those now too and put them in our regular AltJakeTakesOn clips. So if you're unsure what we're doing on the live shows, check out those clips. But tune into it. It's been a lot of fun so far. I think the third episode was the charm. We really hit a nice groove in that one where we were comfortable. We were cracking good jokes and making good insight. Still, the best insight that this show maybe has ever had was you saying that Bryan Danielson should be the GM of AEW. Just
makes sense.
I am so stuck on that. But from now, I've been anytime I post or tag Tony Khan or Danielson, those guys need to be. He doesn't need to be on commentary. That's what he needs to be doing. Make it commentary, just Taz and Sockface, and let's go.
Make it simple. Keep it simple. Stupid.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. It really it's certain cliches are cliche for a reason. Anything else though before you wanted to get into Crown Jewel from Perth, Australia?
We're set to roll.
Yeah, the show that started at 5 a.m. local time for me here on the West Coast, 5 a.m. Pacific, 8 a.m. Eastern time. I mean, from what I saw on Twitter, I stayed off of it until I watched the show. It seemed like a lot of people got up for it and watched it live, and good for them. I know you had a little bit of an experience with it. You want to mention that before we jump into it?
I woke up 10 o'clock my time. So it started like a couple hours prior to that. Jumped on the ESPN app. It says join live or start at the beginning. So I hit back to start the beginning.
Right.
I'm going along pretty cool, pretty jumping around. I'm pretty happy. Then the screen goes black. And I look at the clock and I'm like, oh crap, it probably just ended. So it ended, which I figured it would have. And I wasn't sure it would go off though. I didn't think it would do that, but it went off. And I'm like, well, give it an hour and see if it comes back on. I check back in an hour on the ESPN app. They got the pre-show up. They got the post-show up, but they don't have the actual show. I'm like, okay, that does me no good.
Nope.
Come back an hour later, same thing.
That's the problem. There's right there, right? In the initial part, like, okay. After that second hour, another hour with it.
But and it's all college football.
Yeah.
Which I get. So I have to type in WWE in the search, which is fine. I don't mind that. But all they got up are those three things. The stuff from Friday, the pre-show from Saturday morning, and the post-show from after the show. I'm like, still does me no good.
Yeah, somebody's got to get on that. They need to talk to Netflix.
I'm like, okay, let's try this a different way. So I start hitting the down button, all the NCAA football games, which is like 3 rows. Go down, then I hit NCAA women's hockey, gotta go down past that. Soccer, gotta go down past that. Field hockey, gotta go down past that. Volleyball, gotta go on the very bottom, the last row possible. There it is, Crown Jewel.
Well, no, I mean I had forgotten about how much college sports ESPN has, and on a Saturday, that's gonna just dominate with it. Now, what they need to do is they need to figure out because
put it in where you type it in.
Well, I'm talking about that. I'm talking about I'm going back to where when it stopped on you. Because that's what Peacock used to do. I haven't watched many shows on Peacock recently where I've had to start them late. But I know for a fact when I've had to do that, the same thing would happen. When the show would end, it would take forever to go back and start it over. But with Netflix, I can rarely start Raw live, especially the last couple of weeks when they were starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's 4 o'clock for me. I've got a life. But if you start the show 30, 45 minutes late, let's say, and it gives you the same option, live or start from the beginning, it will tell you at one point, there's like a little gray box will pop up and it just says the live show has ended. but you can still, you don't go back. You still watch your show and going through it. So there's definitely the technology there. And I have faith that they'll fix, because this is literally, it's only the second PLE they've had. And this is the first one where this would even be an issue. So it's good it's something I want to keep an eye on though. And honestly, for the next one, I'm going to maybe I'll go. I don't know. I want to try to figure out if it's going to happen again, because they need to fix it. That's something that needs to be brought to their attention, because if they're going to be doing more international shows, which clearly they are with WrestleMania 43 being in Saudi, it's something that they need to figure out. And I have confidence that they will, simply just because of how much money has been invested in this whole endeavor from ESPN, Disney, WWE. They're smart enough to know.
Just put it in. When I type WWE, just put it in an hour later.
What they need, what they need is like Peacock had, where there was WWE had its own section, like on the left there, where there's the hubs.
They kind of do.
Kind of
do, but you got.
I feel like they just need more content so that they can have like a home for that kind of stuff. I think it'll happen, because that's where I know. But with Peacock, I would never do the search stuff. I would just hit the left arrow and go down to the WWE.
Yeah, they had a WWE section because they had a crap load of stuff.
Yeah, and that's where I feel like ESPN will work its way there. But yeah, it's interesting. I'm not glad it happened to you, but I'm glad you brought it up, because this is just weird. It's good stuff to know, and there's always going to be hitches in the giddy up, so they got to figure it out.
Yeah, I didn't mind at first, and as you know, I have no patience. So.
Right. That's where that other out, if it had been like half an hour total, and then it comes back and all three are there, post-show, show, pre-show, cool. But to have it not, plus too, as far as I know, and the post-show is on YouTube, and I don't know about the pre-show, but I know the post-show is just on YouTube. So it's we don't need that. It's very interesting, and I hope they fix it.
I even got smart, and I was like, you know what? I'll put on the pre-show and skim through it real quick, and then I'll be able to watch the show afterwards, maybe. So I did that, and I watched 2 seconds of the pre-show, but I fast forwarded to the last 50 seconds, and it went off, and then the post-show came on.
See, now that's stupid. What my other question, and what happened for me, because I didn't start. It was at 5 a.m. my time. I don't think I tried to put it on until 11:30, so it had been off for a while. And when I clicked it, it was Crown Jewel, and it was just the full show, or it was just the actual show. I didn't know if it was going to be one video where I was going to have to fast forward through the pre-show to watch the main show.
They had all those separate.
Yeah, I didn't click. I didn't see those, because I just clicked on. I just typed in WWE and saw Crown Jewel and just hit it, and so but it worked fine for me within that aspect, but I was obviously many, many hours later.
It was just annoying. That's all.
No, for sure. No, for sure. And that's where, somebody in the back end of it is going to be on that. I would almost bet, because there's no way. It's not like you were doing something during the show and everybody else was watching it live. I'm sure this happened to a lot of people, especially in your central time zone.
Yeah.
Because for you, for you guys, it started at 7. So I would assume a lot of people in the central time zone maybe started it between 9 and 10 a.m. their time. Exactly. Yeah. But that's between 10 and 11 Eastern, and the show's almost over. Yeah. No, I'm betting you were not the only one, and I'm betting it was reported and hopefully on it. If not, if someone's from ESPN listens to this, fix that. It's got to be something that's got to, because otherwise it was done well. But it's technical issues. There's always something fun with the technology stuff.
But it's not like the sound went out or the stream went out. Nothing major. It's just something that people that are older and have zero patience, like myself, just wanted the easier to better.
Yeah,
exactly. You know how I am at this point, dude. The easier the better. I didn't pick up my own laptop. I didn't do any of this stuff.
Yeah, no,
I asked somebody to do it for me, because I don't have the patience to do it.
Yeah, hell, even when I bought my rising desk, I bought it disassembled and put it together, and it took me you're nope, I'd have paid somebody to do it, which I respect. I get that,
and I did.
I get that. And he did. Yeah, it makes sense. It works. No, it's. You gotta you. Hey, it's better to know yourself and know what works otherwise than just, I'll fix it up and get frustrated. That's I own my home. And so I always say I'm handy enough. There are certain things I can absolutely fix. Once you get into water and electricity, I'm hiring a professional. I'm not even going to look it up, because I will fuck it up, and I don't want to do that. Yeah, no, those are good general
gas. Stay away from electric and gas.
See, luckily we don't do much. Phoenix isn't big on natural gas for whatever. I don't know, but electrical, plumbing, Nope. There's certain things like on the surface I can do, but I'm not, I'm not trying to replace the sink or fix the, the inside pieces of the toilet. Nope, no. Hiring somebody else.
I'll put it in a way that every person over 40 would understand. I was the kid that held the flashlight for my father as he worked on the engine of the car.
Yep.
That was me.
Yep. As long and you got to make sure you hold it right too. And that's, you don't want to be getting screamed at.
Got yelled at for that a couple times.
Yeah. No, that happens happened to all of us. That's for sure. I wasn't the best with that. I would be okay at points, but I'm easily distracted. I've got some ADD. So, but
yeah. Speaking of easily distracted, how about that opening shot from Crown Jewels?
The amount of people that bought that John Cena shirt. I want to see what that number is. I'm surprised Triple H when he's giving his numbers didn't give that number to us. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that would have been a good number because I feel you said it when we were off air. It's like there was 13,000 people in the arena. It seemed like at least 9 or 10 of them had that shirt. Man.
At least.
Yeah. Especially anybody who knew they were going to be opposite the hard cam. And that was great. And I thought it was a good shot too with all of them in Cena's shirt, but doing Roman's pose. Yeah, it was good.
What was cool? They made 13,000 people look like 1 million people in that crowd shot. That was amazing. I when I started, I'm like, what does this place hold? Like 30,000? And they're like, 13,000 here. I'm like, 13.
And you could think that because that was the one in Paris was a 30,000 arena. It was, it was kind of like that. So I definitely thought it was closer to or over 20 with when I saw it and with what you heard. Like they were loud, obviously they were chanting with their accent, but you could still understand most of it from it. And then they were just, obviously we know the international crowds are always going to be loud, but the Aussies came to play and it was smart too. I knew they were going to kick off the show with one of the Aussies, whether it was going to be Bronson or Rhea. Made sense with how the show was going to end to put Rhea where they did, but started off with Bronson and Roman in the street fight and they beat the snot out of each other for a good little while. It was, it was a 21-minute match.
The only match that went outside the ring. The only one.
Wow, I didn't even think about that. That's a great call.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes it impactful. That makes it work. And also too, it was the only match where that was in the stipulations. They didn't have to like let it go or ease up on it or make the ref where the ref's 10 count takes a minute and a half. Because this was the only one. There's a street fight. The other ones were there was 3 singles match and a tag match. That's a good call out. I didn't even realize it, but it makes a ton of sense. And that's also where it makes the weapons more impactful. It was fun to see him hit him with the stops. That was good. No, it was fun though in the way they did it with it, and then you were just kind of waiting for it when you knew where Breaker was going to come out and spear Roman because I feel like I still think that's the Mania match is Roman versus Breaker, and Roman puts him over. But we'll see
what they do here. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, you're exactly. I'm not sure, but I'm very, very, very intrigued by it. And you knew this was going to happen. It just made a lot of sense.
How much money do you think they have invested in Roman's teeth? God, he's got a great smile.
That was, that was one of the things that was one of the things he did when he was out at the beginning of COVID. Cause he came back and he had like the perfect veneers. Who did the act? Oh, it was when Ben Affleck did it for Armageddon. He came in. You're like, wait a minute, where's the Goodwill Hunting guy? Wait, hey, shit. If you got the money for it, go for it. Shit.
It's noticeable too. Like when he smiles, I'm like, man,
you really can see
him smile.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I feel like that's something too that once you've done that, you're gonna be smiling more because you're proud of it. I mean, that's you're happy that you got that. But
I was starting to think as we were watching this match, I'm like, are they actually gonna let Roman win?
They
were teetering with it.
Yeah, and I'm glad that that's what that's how they did it because like we said going into this. It's not going to hurt Roman to lose. It would be better for Bronson to win, but it's great to make it. And that's what I think, as far as I saw online, that's what everybody's thoughts were. Everybody was kind of in the same boat there, but you got to make it. I mean, when we're all in the same boat, we all kind of feel like, okay, well, they're smart enough. They know that they're going to have Bronson win. So you had that moment of doubt. And I thought that was cool because I was with you. There was a couple of points. And then, the Usos come out and they, equalize it and fix the numbers game
They
for it.
didn't listen. They did not.
Right. And that was the part where I was glad that really was kind of brought full circle, where Roman said no matter what, like, everybody thinks, and I like that Roman's trying to be like that type of baby face where he's like, look, I don't want to do this. Everybody thinks I can't do this on my own, and I want to prove them wrong, even against the vision. And and you knew he was going to lose.
They left those microphones on at the end for a reason,
right? And
we'll get there in a minute.
Yep, yeah. But and then it comes down to where the miscommunication, and Jay spears Roman, which is like, oh shit, like, and it was done so well and brought into and then Roman gets the tsunami and Roman loses to Bronson Reed at home. And I was so glad that they like reiterated how important that was, where this is the second person to beat Roman in a singles match in like 5 years, 6 years. I forget what the exact number was, but Jesus.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. And I saw people online too trying to say that Roman was buried. I'm like, he's the second person to beat him in a singles match, like in the 2020s.
I didn't see anybody say that, but
I saw a couple. I saw,
not even logically right. Not even close.
Exactly. Yeah. No. I saw two different people that somebody else reposted or commented on saying about Roman and about the match at the end. It's just like, you don't understand.
First off, people don't know what buried actually means.
That's the entire, and that's the reason why it even stood out to me. Cause it's like, no, that's not what buried me. Yeah. But yeah, unfortunately, most of these people don't know how you can talk about buried, pushed. Like, there's a million wrestling terms that they think they know because they've heard.
That's why I stay away from using them. I know what they mean.
I do too.
I don't want to come across using them because then people take them out and like, I know exactly what everything means.
Yep. Yeah, and I don't feel like I need to use them in those points. Like, it doesn't do me any good. No, it's someday I want to do like that. We'll do a breakdown of it with we'll use Jim Cornette's the graphic novel, the behind the curtain graphic novel. The last 4 pages is literally a glossary of terms. So like, here's what the term is, here's what it means. Yep, fucking marks. But yeah, then we had after the Vision leaves, you have this moment where Roman he basically tells me, I don't want to see y'all's faces until Christmas, which which for me, I felt like that was also done to get people from stop to thinking that there's going to be the bloodline in War Games again this year. Like, they've been in the last 3. Mm-hmm. You don't need to have them in War Games. You just don't. You know what I mean?
They still could if they wanted to.
They still could. No, they still could. But I feel like Triple H doesn't want to have them in there. I think he wants to move to something else. I kind of gets why like the Wyatts and the MFT. So maybe you'll have some bloodline involved, but not like Roman and the
family.
We'll see. Right. We'll see.
Yeah, they made a specific point to leave those microphones on.
Right.
So we all could hear what they were saying. And it was
multiple times. Like, they made sure. Yeah, which I thought was cool, but yeah, it definitely felt like that was done for a reason, at least to me. But yeah, no, that was
done for a reason, plain and fact.
Yeah, right.
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, you're right.
The commentators were totally quiet. They left it. That was totally there for 100%.
Yep, you're right. Yeah, they completely laid out. You're right. I didn't even think about that part of it. You're right. They did completely lay out for it, and it was good. It was good. And it moves the storyline. Neither of us have watched Monday Night Raw yet because, again, it was on at 5 a.m. my time, 7 a.m. for George. But which is good. I want to be able to talk about this straight in a vacuum without going into what happened the next night. So then they went right into the women's crown jewel match, which I thought was kind of smart in the storyline or in the flow of the match, or the flow of the show. Especially too, since there was so much heat in the other one. This was kind of babyface. This match doesn't have a ton of heat, but
no,
it's still cool to see. Like, it's still it was gonna be a good match. I was glad it was, but it
was all right.
It wasn't that long.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
noticeable difference. First thing I noticed, Tiffany looks like she probably took about 10 pounds of unwanted area and turned it into solid mass. She looked totally different to me. Totally.
I'll give you that. Yeah, no, when she
came in, I could see it from this picture. There's nothing.
Yeah, no,
She's
you're right. She did.
totally.
She definitely has. I mean, yeah,
did
she's
not look the
definitely
same.
kind of. Yeah, I'm trying to say it the right way in the sense because like she never looked bad. We're just saying that she toned it up. Yeah, no, I get you. I'm with you.
It's 100%. I know it's the first thing I noticed when she came out. I'm like, holy shit. Okay,
Yeah, no, I get you. No, that's a good catch. I mean, and you're right. It absolutely is. It was just yeah, no, you're right. I'm trying to think. I just didn't want to come off wrong.
Yeah,
But it was a fun match. Yeah, it was a good match. No, you put it the right way, and I didn't have there was no other way to reiterate it without just repeating you. So I'm just gonna let you have that. You're right. Because she's always looked great, but now she looks more defined. But this was a fun match. It was good. It was kind of fun to see her like shoot for the devil's kiss a few times and get denied, but then eventually nail it. Because let's be real, that's the move everybody wants to see in that. But unsurprisingly, to me at least, Stephanie won. I thought that's who should win, especially since, she's kind of more on the rise here at the last, I don't know how long it's been, or since January that Tiffany's had the title, so she didn't really need it. Plus two, Stephanie's just the woman of the moment. It's kind of the best way to put it, really, at this point. Yeah. She's just, which is great.
It's an exhibition. It's an exhibition belt. That's like comes around once a year, and it really means nothing.
No, it's just it's a fun way of having the two champions win,
meet for no reason.
Yeah, that's good point. Yeah, no, you're right. And that's why it was only 10 minutes. Didn't need to be. Cody and Seth have an actual story, and there's heat involved there, so it makes a little bit more sense with Cody and Seth to have a longer of a match.
There was a little bit of awkward points in this. I don't think Tiffany's quite at the ring general standpoint yet.
No,
Stephanie's still not. Obviously, she's still learning things.
Right.
So Tiffany works better with like a Charlotte Flair.
Yes.
Even an Alexa Bliss, stuff like people that have been around, she works
right.
Really
Somebody who's
got to be in charge of things. Like you could tell it was a little awkward, but it was a good match.
You're right. No, that's a good way of putting it. No, and that's a very good way of putting it because Stephanie's got really more wrestling history and wrestling career, but not in the WWE. Because Tiffany, I mean, as great as she's been, she's really only been wrestling for like 4 years. So
she's still in her 20s, right?
Right. Oh, early 20. I think like 24, 25. She's young. Yeah. AJ Styles in the shorts, the old TNA gear, that really popped me. This was really like your fan service nostalgia match of the year. Like this was one of those ones that, I mean, if you've been a pro wrestling fan for the last 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, this match was in service to you. They did so much fun stuff.
If it wasn't yet, by the time John Cena gave this slip of paper to our announcer, then it became that.
Yeah, that is true. You're right.
Because it was just going to be a normal match until he gave the introduction. And I'm like, oh crap. Okay, well, here we go.
Well, I mean, and Styles coming out in the shorts was a good kind of teasing for it. But yeah, no, because Cena wrote out only his introduction, but wrote Styles where he called him that was like the definition of total nonstop action, the undisputed leader of the Bullet Club.
I don't think AJ knew anything about that.
I don't think so either. No, I think they knew like what they were going to do in the match, but I don't think AJ knew that either. I don't think AJ, because they had a camera on his face for his reaction. Like you don't do that for any other. Yeah, that was done on purpose, which is great. I thought it was fantastic. It really was. It was a good, it was a good way to do that. It was fun. And, we've got John Cena hitting, he hit the walls of Jericho. He hit a choke slam. He did the
and they called it on commentary. They called it the walls of Jericho.
Yes, they did. And
to me, no, not really.
Not really. No, because
he's coming back. He's coming
well, it doesn't harm them to do it. They've
never used it before. They never once have said it. This is the first time they've actually said it.
Right, but they've shown shots of Jericho before, and they've mentioned Jericho before.
No, they never.
I called it the walls. I get you.
Yeah, his move, they never call it that.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, and I mean, because a lot of times it is just the what it turned into was the Boston Crab. But Cena even like he goes into the crab, but he started with the knee in the back of the neck, which is the walls of Jericho, or also the Lion Tamer, if you really want to go back with it. I mean, he hits the Sister Abigail, like that. I mean, that
was pretty cool.
It was, and then the all the fans bringing out the fireflies, like that was a cool moment. Like that's one of those things that is just cool stuff. Like that's that's what wrestling is all about. And you could even see like that hit Cena because they had a good rivalry, that weird, Firefly Floodhouse match they had, but also too like, I mean, they were good friends in real life. So it was something that was really important. Bray was important to Cena. So that was a cool
if this was any other match with any other two guys, I would have got sick of this stuff after a while. But
I'll give you that. But that's also
I enjoyed every bit of this.
Yeah, and it's it's one of those things that not everybody could do something like this. A lot of guys could want to, but they had to earn it, and they earned it. They earned this. That was one of those things where they really did earn it. So
yeah, you've seen everything from Undertaker, HBK, Chris Jericho, Bray Wyatt.
I mean, he basically he did the tombstone and then he did the AA to pile on top of it. But I mean, the match could have ended with a tombstone. Like I honestly thought he was going to, and did the AA and then it. But it was fun. Like it was done well. I enjoyed it. There's not really much else you can say about it other than that it was done very well. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I thoroughly
these crown jewel matches are basically exhibition matches.
They're not even basically, they are.
There's very little for storyline except for the first match, probably. That was it.
Yeah, well, I mean with the women's tag with where that's going with Rio and Ia. I just combined them together and called them Ia. But and then I do think there's some stuff, but we'll get into the main event, that there is some stuff in that is for the story.
Yeah, very little, but they put on a show for the people. That's what.
Yeah, exactly. And that was what the women's tag match was too. Obviously, after Cena wins, and I thought I had a picture of Cena lifting AJ's hand up, but apparently didn't save right. Yay, technology. But that was good. They ended it well. It was a very good, respectful babyface match. And then in the penultimate match was smart there's where you put Rhea in, and Io. Everybody loves Io, but let's be real. It's Rhea in her home country. I know it's not really her hometown, but whatever. It's close enough.
Yeah, I would have liked to see her in a singles match in this, but I get why they put her here.
Yeah, it was one of those things. Well, I feel like if you weren't gonna have her be in the title picture for it, but you kind of were almost stuck with this in that moment. But it made sense. A couple of weeks before they announced this match, I kind of could see this is where it was going, and it was fine. I enjoyed that part. Like it made sense. This match was exactly what you said. They put on a show for the crowd. Rhea hits the move, tags it Io so she can stand there and celebrate when Io gets the pin. Great stuff. It was fun. Nothing super special, but didn't need to be either. Like, I don't know not sure what anybody else would have expected from it, but I enjoyed it.
It was all right.
I thought it was done well.
I guess I would have rather seen Rhea by herself go one-on-one with anybody. Would have been a little more exciting for me, but the first 7 minutes was just Io getting the crap beat out of her, and then she finally made a hot tag to Rhea. So and that's for the crowd. Makes sense. No. And then we had the main event, Cody versus Seth. And this one, now it's funny, we've been saying this whole thing, it was an exhibition, and you're right, it absolutely was an exhibition, but Seth had to win. And I'm glad that they made that a point within the stories they've done building up to it. And even in the show, in the night of, they were making sure to say, Breaker asked Bronson, what happens if Seth loses? And Paul came back in.
Yeah.
And said, even if he's waving his hands for you to come in, don't come in at all, sipping his coffee.
Yeah. And Breaker says, what do we do if Seth loses? And Heyman just can't even pop his head back in and just goes, I think you both already know the answer to that. It is all on Seth. He has to win the match, and that's where it gives this match. It gave it more than just it being a exhibition, and it was good. And they've got a good history. The 3 matches they had a couple years ago were fun.
Crowd was kind of tapped out at this point, though.
Yeah, which is fine. Yeah, but I mean that's. Yeah, but I feel like they got into it with the moves that they did. I mean,
they tried.
Yeah,
but they were after Rhea and after the other man.
Yeah, they were definitely. You're right. They were spent after Rhea. I mean, even Cody busted. I saw Hurricane Helms put up the. What is going on?
Because Cena brought that crowd to a fever pitch. So
yeah, no, you're right.
Cena and Rhea back to back. That's perfect. And you follow it up with the match. But you do what you can do. I mean,
for
they
sure.
tried.
Yeah, no, there it is. My StreamYard was being shitty on me. Got so the vertebraker. That's what I was trying to pull up. I thought that was fun. I saw Shane Helms repost that. That was cool to see. That was fun. Yeah, and then we had Seth flying.
Oh, this move was cool. This was
fun. Yeah, this was different. Like I was wondering what he was. I'm like, is he gonna do like a flying stomp? I'm like, I don't think he can get his feet over there. But just that flying headbutt. But you're right though. Look at the crowd. You're right though. They're not up.
No, they're
like,
not.
They're there. Similar to what we said about Bound for Glory when we get into the talking about that. Where they were there. They were happy. They were watching it. They were enjoying it. But yeah, it wasn't quite. They weren't quite as into it and quite as fun. But the finish was fun. I liked it. I mean, Seth using the Rolex that Cody gave him to hit him in the jaw too. Be like, oh, it was one punch. I'm like, if you're hit directly in the jaw, that's why there's things called glass jaws, or jaws of steel. Like it was a shot to the face after a 28-minute match.
Yeah, and if you look at the shot to the face, he hit him.
Yes, that's why I grabbed this picture when I saw him on the WWE photo album thing. I'm like, oh, that's perfect. He's like, it's not a full punch, but he's punching him in the face.
It's pretty close. It's pretty close.
And I'm sure Cody told him to, because it's, Cody knows it's good for the business. Have the bruises, have the cuts. Those things look good for the business. He knows every time Rock made him bleed, it's good for the business. But it does lead to Seth winning the match, as he should. That needed to happen. And I'm the biggest Cody fan. I'm always rooting for Cody. I always want him to win. But this story needed to be Seth winning. It just made the most sense. And then Triple H presents him the crown jewel belt in the ring. And then
that awkward moment when Stephanie McClure pops out.
Yes. That was, I was wondering if,
God, this is weird.
This is because, he's trying to be nice about it, but he's also a heel. She's also a female. And we know that like his wife's there. You know what I mean? Like it's just very awkward, very weird, but it was awkward last year too, with Cody and Liv. It was super weird.
It's a weird move.
I get it in the sense because you wanted to put it over with it, but yes, it's just very, very strange. I did like what Stephanie, like she was able to hit her pose with the ring though, with their finger like that. I thought that was smart. Like if you're going to win it with her and that's her pose, like fit the ring to fit the index finger. But overall, I enjoyed the show. Want to get back to this shot again because I do love it. I do think it was great to see all the audience, to see the Aussies going crazy for it. They were great on SmackDown on Friday. The kickoff show stuff, they were fun. The post show, they got a little weird with the singing Edge's song and stuff. But hey, you do what you want. You do it.
That was a little embarrassing.
That was a little weird. And Triple H, you can't even acknowledge it because like, I know some people think that there's a chance that can happen, but those people are insane, right?
Not
like
that's the injury.
Not with the injury. And then like, well, just Edge is signed to AEW.
Well, they sang Edge's song. They also chanted for Moxley. And then there was one more. Or the other one.
There
was three people. I can't remember.
Okay. I only saw the Edge. I really would.
John Moxley chant was bad. And then there was one more. I can't remember. But either way.
Yeah.
But this whole card, you had one match go outside the ring, and you had no afterbirth in any matches. I don't think.
A little bit with the first match, but that was really more.
That's not really,
yeah, right, because that was kind of
it's part of the story.
Yeah, you're right. There really wasn't because Cena and AJ kind of did like the babyface thing. The Kabuki Warriors left the ring and let Rhea and Io celebrate. You're right, which is good.
Again, I'll go back to the old coaching knowledge of KISS. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yep. Nope. 100% with you. 100% with you. So I guess we'll get into the other show now, which is TNA Bound for Glory. And again, want to thank everybody who came out for the watch along that we had yesterday on Spaces. That was a lot of fun. I feel like TNA and NXT and AAA are more our wheelhouse. The show started with the during the pre-show with which I didn't catch the Hall of Fame inductions because, like we said, we were an hour off on our start times. But I did see the this match where the Inspiration won the tag titles from the Elegance brand, which makes sense since Ash had to retire. I feel like they revamped themselves there and gonna probably re-figure out those girls and put them somewhere else or something.
Yeah, it was. And I saw some of this. Mickey James was pretty cool.
Yeah, I do want to say I saw pictures of it. I saw Victoria was with her in it. I'm gonna watch that at some point today. I'm gonna watch Raw and then I'll watch that because I saw it was on YouTube. The show kicked off with Steve Maclin beating Frankie Kazarian for the international title.
Quickly.
Okay. I was just gonna say super quick. The the first few matches, and I mean, it made sense because they had the call your shot battle gauntlet coming up. But yeah, this match was 8 minutes, followed by Tessa Blanchard beating Gia Miller in 6 minutes.
Yeah,
that one was real quick, which
they're moving along.
Yeah, which made sense. And also for what this was since Gia's more of a backstage announcer, like Tessa did have to kind of squash her. That made
she held her own. She did pretty good.
That was just gonna say
right.
She had a good showing. She had some good moments, but she had to lose. Like that was right. I mean, and I've been saying about it with Tessa, like it seems at least like she's been wanting to work however they want her to work. You know what I mean? Like whatever they've been having her do, she's been willing to do, as opposed to, backstage issues before that she said she's had. So good for her.
Yeah, they managed to put 7,794 people in this joint too, which I was surprised at, actually.
Right, especially when at the morning when it was announced they'd sold like 6,050 tickets. So that was a big jump over in the
they always had a good walk up.
The walk up, yeah, that's what I was going. The walk up was thank you. I could not think of the phrase. Yeah, walk up. I was thinking day of, but walk up is the phrase in wrestling, and that's good. I mean, the storylines they had that were going well. I obviously too. I feel like with Lowell, Massachusetts, part of it was people were. I'm not going to buy a ticket now, not knowing what the weather might be on that day, and have to drive in the terrible shit that they have to do with. But it was good.
I mean, they sold a lot of tickets. They had good walk up, and I'm sure they comped a bunch too. But
I'm sure.
I heard they were comping pretty good.
I'm sure. You know what I mean? But hey, that's fine. I mean,
they all do it. Everyone picks on AEW for doing it. They all do it, dude.
Yeah, you'd rather have a full house than not. Like, I remember with AEW, people were all harping on like when they had like the seat fillers. I'm like, WWE does that. Everybody does that. You'd rather
the Oscars do it. Jesus,
right? For the seats that people are gonna see, you don't want to see an empty seat. Like in any show, like during the main event, sometimes you'll see like, hey, people had to beat the traffic or they had to go, and like when there's patches of empty seats, it's never a good look. So it makes sense. The Call Your Shot gauntlet was fun. I mean, it is what it is. It's their version. I swear, it's their combination of the Royal Rumble and the Money in the Bank, and they do it like Money in the Bank used to be a WrestleMania match. This is they're a Bound for Glory match, so they kind of have to have it. I feel like there was some of it that was kind of like, all right, like whatever.
Yeah, not a fan of the intergender stuff.
Yeah,
we'll get to again in another part of this. But
yeah, we said that on the show, or I do in the live part of it, of just not our favorite thing. And I mean, they did kind of get, especially, I mean, started with some ladies and it got rid of them. And then the ladies that were out towards the end, like Jody Threat and Rosemary, that was a little bit more of like, you can see like they were able to, use the mist and their trick moves or whatever to kind of beat them. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan. It was cool. I mean, AJ Francis came in and was a monster but there was fun parts of it. But
yeah, and as you can see by this picture, you can see this. There was a lot of this going on tonight. The leg slapping shit. There was a lot of that going on.
Unfortunately,
this is what they're doing here. This is what they're getting ready to do. A leg slap.
No, unfortunately, it's one of the downfalls of Shawn Michaels being one of the greatest ever, because he was great at it, but he was great at being smooth with it. You know what I mean? Like he didn't, you know what I mean? Like he wasn't, he wasn't as obvious with it, I guess is the best way to put it.
Couldn't tell it was a leg slap.
Yeah.
You knew it was, but you couldn't really, we don't know for sure.
Yeah.
He did it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no. It just, it had a fun little part with Santino and Kazarian going back and forth. Santino put himself in the match and had a callback to his Royal Rumble record where he was eliminated in a second, which was fun. But it was silly. In the ending was kind of silly where they had both.
Me.
Yeah, some of the endings bothered other people that didn't bother me as much. We'll get into that. This did, though. This didn't make a lot of sense. I mean, I get what they're doing with it. It's just, I'm kind of like, it's just,
yeah. And the other thing I don't like the fact that you have to have the trophy in your possession when you call your shot.
Yeah,
that was evident because later on,
at the end of it all,
one guy comes out with the trophy, and the other guy wants to cash in, but he can't cash in because he doesn't have the trophy.
Yeah,
this is the problem when you have two people. That's just the problem you're gonna have.
Which is all I kept saying is, well, then they need to like cash it in as a triple threat match, but it's just silly. No, I'm with you 100% on that, and it just didn't. And this is also why the other with AEW where they cash in and you have to have the contract and sign it, and it's just There's sometimes for something like you've said it 3 or 4 times in this show. Keep it simple, stupid, and they didn't. This is not simple. This is stupid.
Even with the Money in the Bank thing, they have the briefcase, but just make it simple. Or briefcase is pretty simple. You're always got it with you. I get that.
Well, and you don't have to do anything else but hand it to the referee and say I'm cashing it in. You don't have to sign anything. You don't have to have the it's you're absolutely right. It's why it's the original. It's the classic. It's the easiest. And, sometimes people try to make their own moves.
Don't make it more complicated.
God. You try to take your own spin on it and you're going to make it more complicated. Even this Call Your Shot gauntlet, we were watching it. It's a Royal Rumble, just a little weirder. But it was fine. It was like 27 minutes, give or take. Next up was the women's title match. Kalani Jordan.
Before we move it, at this point, we made mention of the fact that the audience was just happy to be there.
Oh yeah, no.
The crowd was. They were there. They
were loud too. They were clapping.
They were loud at points.
Yeah.
They weren't really into anything as of now.
Yeah, I felt like, and I kept saying it when we were watching, and I kept saying because I had the card up in front of me the entire time we were watching the show. I'm like, they're going in order, and it's the match is because this is the Call Your Shots match number 4, and the ladies are in match number 5. And then the system hardcore intergender thing was the match 6, but 7, 8, and 9. Match 7 is Leon Slater versus Javon Evans. 8 was the Hardys and the Dudleys, and 9 was the title match main event. And it felt like you could just feel that people were waiting for that. Those 3. You're going to see the spectacle of the 2 young, awesome guys that are both 21 and young studs. You're going to see the old 50-year-old guys that are going to be in their last match, and then the title. So. But you're right. They were happy to be there. It didn't seem like they were like, I'm going to go get merch. I'm going to hang out in the bar area. It was
one left. I mean,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, good point. It was a fun match. This one here with Kalani and Indy. This is the one where I kept saying, I'm like, I was convinced that either Kalani was going to retain or Javon was going to win the X Division title, just to keep, because the partnership's not ending. It's not like they're stopping at for any reason. They're still going to do it. So it's one of those things that it worked. It worked for me. I liked it. For that part of it, for Kalani winning. So good for her.
This was I think I noticed during the broadcast that the refereeing was off in this match a little bit. Like her count was always count to 2, and then look at the timekeeper for another 2 seconds. So she was missing a pin combination that was going on behind a lot of times.
Yeah, no, and you're right. No, and you did call that out, and it was just kind of like a couple times, it's just like, I'm not sure who this referee is, because they had 2 female referees.
Right.
There were and the other one seemed like the other one did well from what I saw. This was really the only time during the whole 4-hour live show that we talked about where there was a little like with the referee.
And I told you during the show too. I expected Indy to be much better than what she actually is.
Yeah, I keep thinking it's more of a self-confidence. I think she's got the ability. I think she's got to mentally realize that she's a star, that she's good. No, I'm good, Chip. So the next match was the intergender 10-person hardcore war with the system of Moose, Brian Myers, and then Eddie and Alicia Edwards, and JDC, who's just Fandango, versus Order 4 of Mustafa Ali, Tasha Steele, Special Agent Zero, who we're going to show in a moment. That's a big dude. Jason Hotch and John Schuyler. Yeah. So he was this monster dude who I hadn't seen before. And thank God for Chris Connor, because he knew who he was and what his stuff and who, like, his backstory in the Indies and stuff.
Well, this is the match where we got to see the Boston Red Sox mascot, right?
Yes. Wally did come out during this. Yes. At the beginning.
With Eddie.
Very family friendly. Very family friendly.
Very family friendly before we saw what we saw.
Yeah, exactly. That was a little. I mean, I get it though, because Eddie Edwards is from Boston. You're doing all that. There was a lot of Celtic stuff and Red Sox stuff, and nobody did anything for the Patriots. I'm a Red Sox fan, yes, but I'm not a fan of any other Boston teams. I would spend summers back east with my dad. He took me to Fenway from the age of like 5 years old, so I've got love for the Boston Red Sox. I do.
So this dude here is solid.
Look at him.
He looked good.
He did a big flying move. And then this was awesome. And then there was like what does they call it? The penthouse to the outhouse, when he slammed poor Alicia onto the thumbtacks.
She calls that. She likes that stuff.
Oh, I get it. That's fine. I don't like it. I'm not big on the thumbtacks. I said it.
No, I don't care about the thumbtacks. I just hate the part where he has to pick her up and drop her. Thumbtacks just add more disdain to my
Yeah, the more disdain. Yeah, no, I don't like it. I've never liked it. I'm not either of it. I don't like intergender stuff much, and I don't like thumbtacks at all. It's too much. And then
anybody else.
Was it you or was it Chris? I was like, oh, they're using like hardcore
Me.
thumbtacks. I guess they really stick in there. I'm like, oh fuck.
And these are the ones that actually stick and aren't like the ones you have in your office.
God. Yeah, no, this was not the most fun that I had during the evening. I'll give you that. It was what it was. The system won. Yay. It was kind of weird though, because you do kind of feel like that what the hell happened to Mustafa Ali now, because with his storylines and stuff. But also too, this is their Mania, and the hometown folks. Like Brian Myers had 33 on the back of his singlet there. Like they were in Celtics colors. Like it made sense. It was fine. I send him home happy. I get it.
Yeah, I don't no need for this match.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yep. Nope.
You could actually take that back. You can just take Alicia out, take the other woman out,
and the other one out too. Yeah, and they can or maybe just have them on the outside and like they can do something.
There's no reason for me to be telling people that Alicia Edwards is the most valuable player on the team because she took fucking 95 tacks to the back.
It's about. I don't have anything else to add to that statement. You are correct, sir. Yes, that's all I got. Because no, when we were watching it, just like, I don't want to see that shit. Now, what shit I did want to see was Javon Evans versus Leon Slater, the two 21-year-olds. Javon turned 21 in April and Leon in September.
Yeah, this one I was looking forward to.
Yeah.
So from what I've seen, this is like the most talked about thing all yesterday.
Yes, absolutely. Because these two guys, they're 21 years old each. Like I am older than their two ages combined. Like that's crazy. Like I'm old, but I'm not that old. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just weird. Like and for how talented they both are. What the thing for me was, what I was worried about was that there was no like ring general. There was no leader in this match, but they knew what they wanted to do. They did their stuff. They had great moments. I mean, both of them flew out of the ring out of like different points and hit each other with different moves. And it was a lot of fun.
Plenty of height.
Oh God. I mean, yeah, no,
the serious height.
Yeah, no, him being bouncy is not just a gimmick and not just he's both of them too. Like they are both just super high flyers. They did a lot of stuff that was very cool and dangerous, but not like AEW dangerous where, what was it? Dante Martin's going to break his leg or Ray Phoenix going to break his arm. You know what I mean? Like you weren't doing this stuff with then onto tables, and like Leon Slater didn't set up a erector set of two ladders on the outside and the table in the middle.
Yeah, but the tables came up later on. They didn't prove to be too friendly either. So
right, yeah, no, but you knew that going into that match, so that was different. You know what I mean? Like this was just a regular match, and they treated it as such. And then this is where a lot of people differ, and I don't have a problem with this at all.
I got a problem with this.
Was Dark State coming in to interfere with it? I have zero issue with this for a multitude of reasons. One, neither of them. It makes so much sense for neither of them to really lose because they're both baby faces, and it gives them a reason to team up to go up against Dark State now. And Dark State just dropped the titles, and they're really not good enough to be in the title picture for the tag titles. So don't have them be in that. Like, this is perfect. This is a great little feud. I think that can happen. Maybe some people can team up with Javon and Slater and maybe have an 8-man tag or whatever, but I like that idea of them two teaming together. You know what I mean? That makes me happy.
I hated this ending.
That's fair. And I saw a lot of people did. I really liked it because of that part of it. I like the idea of Leon Slater and Javon Evans.
You've taken a match that everyone was talking about, and it didn't matter who would have won. It wouldn't have mattered. They're both 21 years old. Who cares? Have a winner.
Yeah.
You turn the best match of the night into what people talk about as one of the worst endings of a match of the night, which has happened.
Yeah,
I'm not going to call it the worst thing I've ever seen, but it was disappointing. And the crowd booed their ass
because the crowd didn't get a finish, of course, and that gives the Dark State guys heat.
You don't do. I made a mention yesterday. You don't do that in your WrestleManias. That's all. You just don't.
Well, you can't have in every single match. That's not what happens.
Listen,
WrestleMania.
I understand your point, and I agree with your point of view. I just don't. I don't think it was a good way to end it on a WrestleMania type event.
I understand,
especially with these two kids. If Javon wins, okay. If
Which is why I definitely thought Javon was going to win this match. That was my prediction. That was what I said.
Yeah,
that was what I believe.
Be a winner. That's all I want.
We'll see how it goes with it. I really didn't have. I had no issues with it. And then I'm also one of these people that's gonna be super stubborn. Where when I see a bunch of people complaining, I'll stay over here and not be. I'll be the other. I'll be the one. I'll be the 1 versus 100. I don't mind. That's fine though. I do want to see them team up more because they had a great tag match on TNA or actually on NXT, and I feel like Javon being on because they've done it with Oba. There's going to be more NXT people on TNA until they get that TV deal. Which, damn it, I thought they were going to get it. I thought that was coming out when Chris Bay came out, and I forgot to get a picture of him. That's on me. Next up was it's funny you went from the youngest guys on the card to the oldest guys on the card. Get up. The Dudleys. I was glad they came. I felt like those were like actually Bubba's gear from the night. Look how faded those. Like, look at Devon's legs.
His boots. Definitely the boots.
Yeah, right. Well, those. I feel like he's had this gear ready. Like, because look at Devon's pants. Those are newer. Those have not been washed as many as Bubba's. Bubba's are faded, which I love. I think it's great. What I also thought was great was Spike. I've always loved Spike, but I'm glad that he just came out and like ran out to them and then didn't stay. Because if he'd have stayed, we would have had to see him get.
Took me a while to figure out who it was. I'm like, is Stone Cold Spike Dudley here? What the hell? Ends up being just Spike without hair.
Yeah, well, I mean, did you see he did the interview with
I expected the
Chris Van Vliet recently. He did the interview with Chris Van Vliet recently, where he was bald, and I didn't realize he was that bald. I was like, oh. Wow, it happens. It gets the best of him, I guess. But it was fun. I was glad to see him. But like I said, I didn't want to see him. I was like, when he went to the back, I'm like, oh, thank God, because I didn't want to see some super Spike. Yeah. Right? Like, that's what he's known for. And there's a reason why it's.
But big shout out to Chris Connors on this one, because he said the only thing that would have made this better is if Joel Gertner would have came out and announced these guys. Yeah, and that would have been awesome, dude.
Yeah. And really it's on the neck brace. Yeah, no, that would have been fun. That would have, yeah. No, there was a lot of there was good. It was this was fine. Now that we know that nobody, came up was hospitalized afterwards or left on a stretcher. Everybody was ambulatory. It did. But it started off hot. It started off putting Jeff right through the table. I mean, that was a hell of a way to kick off the match.
I had a feeling they had to do something quick because Devon didn't look like he was going to go 15-20.
No. And the match did go. Well, the match went 15-45. Yep. I thought it went over 20. Yep.
There was a reason everything was done in the beginning for the most part. Sure. Devon was left out of the main stuff, which I got. Right.
And when this match was announced, the first thing most people said was, "Can Devon still do it?" Like, because as far as everybody had known, Devon had surgeries and wasn't able to. And and Bubba wrestles pretty frequently, and that's why Bubba did most of the wrestling. It made a lot of sense, and they did it well. You had professionals, guys who knew what they were doing, seasoned pros. So I was all right with those parts of it. Jeff does the swanton out here that he kind of little overshot of it, but under. You're right, it was an undershot.
Missed him by at least a foot.
Right, because it's the table. The table's on the other side of Devon, and he hits the table, and like his legs kind of go there. Luckily, the table under Devon still broke. But woof, yeah, that was a little.
Yeah, what those stupid wraparounds in the table is the thing that got him in trouble. Yeah, on this too.
Those things. Yeah, and whoever got the tables forgot that you got to remove those parts. It's like those, and then the things that lock the table legs in place. Like, don't have either of those because those can hurt you.
Kind of have to have the locks in place.
Well, no, you could just have the tables. I mean, like you don't have the full on, because otherwise they just break.
Yeah, but you gotta have a lock on it so the shit don't fall apart. You can't have a table stand there without the lock on it.
On one of the sides, they'll usually pull it off because you don't want it to break. Otherwise it won't. It'll just the part that's under the table will just stay straight and snap at them. Either way, nobody gimmicked either of these fucking tables. That was every time they came up and they were like wrapped around the little metal rig and barrier thing. Like, yeah, it was.
As soon as he hit the
tables,
tables, like all referees and all the security came right over there.
Well, yeah, I mean, it
was pretty quick reaction time. Like, okay, here we go.
The only one who wasn't in their 50s is Jeff Hardy, and he's easily probably, if not for Devon, the most beat up. But yeah, there's the ring on. There's the table right there with the ring on, the ring around it. There, you can see it kind of bent. Yeah, that outer ring should not be there, especially for like these older guys. But as you can see, the Dudleys took their boots off and gave them to the Hardys. Obviously Devon's never wrestling again. I don't know if that fully means Bubba is done or maybe just Bubba.
I think he's done. I think he's done.
It could be. I mean, I just know he's wrestled a decent amount the last couple of years, but
where's he wrestling?
Independent shows. Like he was doing stuff with what's his name? Enzo.
Is he actually wrestling or just showing up like JBL? Like,
as far as I know, he's like in the main events of these shows. I see. Yeah, I used to watch a lot more Busted Open. I don't have as much time anymore, editing shows and doing this stuff. But I can't say for sure. But I definitely thought that he would. It definitely seemed to me like he was more. And they were like Northeast independent shows.
I would think with the ceremonial thing here, I think he's done.
I would hope so. I mean, they've made enough money. He's got a great gig with Busted Open. He doesn't need it. Devon's got his religious stuff too. Like obviously Devon's done. That's for sure. The question is Bubba. But it was good to see. Like I said, they all left together. That was great. I was happy to see that. No one's, as far as we know, everyone was still alive. No one was hospitalized.
Yeah. This is where the crowd perked up, folks.
Yes. Oh yeah. They got up.
From this point on, the crowd's into it.
Yep. Because, I mean, Mike Santana comes out and they are ready and they are hot for him. They were cheering him. Everybody knew like this has to happen. This is TNA. And also, too, like the storylines were so good around him and his history of who he really is, like the real stuff. They had Conan there with him, too. That was great. Conan. Anytime you can see Conan, it is never a bad thing. We always love Conan. That was my favorite video package that they did in all of the build-up stuff was the LAX one, where I don't know if you guys haven't seen it. It's on TNA's YouTube page, and I also posted on my Twitter. But it's Mike Santana like reading a letter from Conan, but it's Conan doing the voiceover and talking about all their history and everything they did in LAX. Great stuff. And also talking about Puerto Rico and Bad Buddy. It was great. And then Trick comes out looking in like
dedication to his daughter, though. It's nice.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
Which we'll see at the end, but
yep,
I mean,
we will.
He definitely puts her forward, so that's always good.
Well, and I mean, it's one of those things, man. People that have those major like addiction issues, the people that get through it, it's because they find something that's more important to them. For a lot of people, it's religion, but for him, and a lot of people, it's their kids and like stuff. It's something like that. And like, you got to respect that. You got to love that. Honestly, like as for me, everybody knows my story. My dad died when I was 26 suddenly, and he was my best friend. So for me, I love it. And I have anything for those types of stuff. And yeah, the shot at the end made me misty for sure. And we will get there, but it was good to see. It was good to see that they pushed him up right, because everyone was saying, you blew it, dude. WWE is totally making you their bitch in this partnership deal. And it's like, no, Mike Santana is going to win the title at their WrestleMania. It's going to be amazing. And it was a great match, And this is another thing that like you didn't like so much at the start, but I was okay with it. They did go outside of the ring and did a bunch of stuff outside, but it was before the bell rang. I was fine with that.
Technicality that I agree with Mr. Listen, let me finish.
I just think it's a tech.
I will agree with the tech. I forgot that.
Technicality.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you, sir. I will agree with Cornette 100% on that. He always makes fun of AEW for doing it. When they don't start the match, they are always outside brawling, and they come in and start the match. I'm the same way. I don't like it either.
I'll give you that if it's always. I
don't like it.
This is the only match they did. It worked for this one because of the story. Because of what's happened.
I don't feel that.
I get you. I'm fine. I'm just giving you my opinion of it. I liked it because it wasn't. I would rather it be this than a ref count that's 10 seconds that takes 2 minutes. I will. For what it was. Sideshow. Shout out to Sideshow Bob there over the anthem sign with the glasses. Yeah, right. He was the easiest spottable fan, and that dude was into it. He was yelling at Trick. I love that guy. Big fan of that kid.
A couple times.
Yeah, there was Carrot Top or Sideshow Bob, whatever you want to call him. I'm all for it.
That's why I asked you at the beginning if this was a no holds bar or the
And I was looking up, I didn't know, and then I heard the bell ring, and I'm like, oh, okay, that works. It was fine, and it was good in the sense too, where our Trick got on him early. Mike got his juice early and was bleeding the whole time, fighting from underneath. And there was a couple of times where they actually made you think, like when Trick hit the trick shot and went right for the cover, there was that moment of, oh shit, are they not gonna?
They're not gonna.
And that's what makes wrestling so great when you have those moments of, oh, okay, yeah, and then you know what I mean, and it comes through, and then Mike hits the round the block is what he calls it, that lariat, and Mike Santana wins. He beat this was the shot afterwards because that's Kazarian there because they did try to have they tried to have some
shenanigans
stuff afterwards. Shenanigans. Thank you. I was going to say shady. You're right. Shenanigans where Nick Nemeth comes out but then Elias hits him. Did you also notice that Elias's guitar, they put baby powder in it because when he hit him, the powder.
Yeah, they always did that.
That's great.
That's cool. That gives a good effect for it. It gives a
right, especially when you have the light, like when you had the darkness and that light on him too, so it really kind of puffed out.
God, when we were watching this live, it was me, you, and Chris, and when they started presenting the shenanigans at the end, all of us went, no,
right, and quickly it was like, no, it was still, I'm glad it was done. Yeah, we were just like, no, you can't, you didn't. Oh, good. And then we got the ultimate ending shot with Mike Santana hugging his daughter after he won the title. Like, I mean, and his daughter slapped Trick during the match too. Yeah. Like you could
with a smile on her face.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm all right with doing it. Kids. There was a point when Trick said you could see she's like biting her lip. She was doing all she could, but she's like a 12-year-old kid on camera.
Yeah,
I'd smile like an idiot too. Plus, I mean, I don't know if she for sure knew her dad was going to win, but I mean, I feel like when your whole family's behind you and all that.
Yeah, I don't think he would tell her.
I don't think he would either, but I'm just saying like this picture here, because she's in that shot to the right there with all. Yeah, when you see that, hope Dad's going to win. But it was great. It was an awesome moment for him. I'm excited to see what's going to happen for him as the champion. But I mean, we've said it from pretty much the beginning of us doing this show, how impressed we've been with Mike Santana, not only his work ethic, but not taking Tony's money and going, like I'm going to take less money and I'm going to go actually wrestle and do what I want to do than sit on the couch and get a birthday wish every year on social media and a paycheck every 2 weeks. So I was happy to
TNA. I'm sorry, Jake, go ahead.
No, I was happy to see it. I was done. You're good.
Oh, okay, cool. Because TNA needs, like Trick wasn't the face of TNA.
No.
You needed the face of TNA to move forward. And whenever they have coming, TV, whatever,
right.
This is your face. This is your guy.
No. And that's what was great is that it was a great moment for Trick to actually be a heel, because he's a heel at NXT, but he's a cool heel in NXT. As we were talking about watching the show last night, the TNA fans, the ones that are like TNA first, they hate Trick because they don't like Trick in there, and which is what it's supposed to be. It's perfect. He got to do his great heel work. I'm interested to see if we'll ever see Trick on, not ever, but if Trick goes up. I said it early on that I thought Trick would be on this SmackDown this Friday or the next Raw. I didn't, because I knew he wasn't going to go to Australia. So I think he's going to. I really do. I think it makes sense just to bring him up, but maybe not. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do. We have that problem where there's just so much there.
And it's one of the things like I had convinced myself of it, and then Chris starts going through the list. Like, shit, those rosters are full. They really are, though. And I always talk about that too with when people say like, oh, they're misusing this person or they're fumbling this person. It's like, where are you going to? Not everybody can fit it. That's why I say when everybody's like, oh, you got to bring up Boba Fett. No, you do not. He doesn't have that much under his belt for career. Like he's young enough, like, because if you bring him up, you have to put him in the main event scene, and there's no room, and he could get eaten up and swallowed alive. Like, what's he gonna do? Go win the U.S. title? Like, I don't know. I feel like Oba has plenty of time left in NXT. It's
a good dilemma to have.
There. It was just, you're right.
It is a problem. This is the one you want.
You could have, right. You could have the problem of like where TNA does have some issues of it, where their rosters a little fit in places, and you're sending out all three rascals during the.
Yeah, we noticed that yesterday. The TNA roster is top heavy, and nothing else. That's it.
And you feel like that's, because they've got the partnership with NXT, they can fill out the shows because there's usually one or two or more people from NXT on most TNA shows, like on Impact and stuff. But you hope that like if they get that TV deal or media rights deal or whatever deal you want to call it, whatever you want to, you know, whatever they're calling it these days, like that money would infuse back into them. They could reinvest into strengthening up the roster. But, you know, it still just kind of sucks in the sense of like when you see guys like Andrade re-signing with AEW and going to the Don Callis family, or I know they're trying to do stuff with Rusev on Raw, but he would have been so great in TNA. And honestly, like Malachi Black might have been too, but if he's going to be the new Karrion Kross, why isn't Karrion Kross? There's a shortage of bigger guys, bigger stars in TNA. And from what it looks like from watching there, the bigger heels, like AJ Francis is a big heel, but like who else? You could have guys
smart.
that are,
they stick this Agent Zero, Double Zero guy.
Good Lord, yes. On that Agent Zero.
Start bringing him up a little bit, giving him some time, see if he can actually work, because we really couldn't tell yesterday.
Right. You can't, you can hide people's work in a match like that for what he had to do, like just show the athleticism. But yeah, can he work? It's a good point. Cause yeah, he's the Special Agent Zero is what his name was. He's 6'4", 6'5", like a big, and he's cut too. Like he looks.
Yeah.
Big.
First thing I noticed.
Right. No, yeah. You were like 30 seconds ahead of me all night. So I'm like, who? I think you're asking him. I'm like, who is it? And he comes out. I'm like, oh shit, that dude is big. Yeah. That was fun. Though.
Somebody to consider building around.
Yeah.
With Santana and see if he can.
Right. Yeah. If he's got the skills at all, and Santana can lead him, that could be a decent. That could be a big win for Santana.
Yeah. We'll see what they do.
They also were smart enough to announce their other big shows that are coming up for TNA. They've got they were going to I forget where but they were going to El Paso. They're going to Genesis in January. Is going to be in Dallas. They're announcing. I mean, they're making their moves out, and they're obviously doing decently well. Like you said, it was what 7,700 and last night in Lowell. Yeah, that's pretty. I mean, that's good for them. I mean, that's
7,794 to be
seven. Yeah, good for them, man. This is what AEW should have been doing in the sense of focusing on their own shit, building up a product for their fans. Yeah,
and then in the right direction.
Yeah, but I mean they did. But from the beginning, they were always punching up to WWE. Even like Jericho in that first press conference, or Cody with the throne. Like, don't worry about that.
Yeah,
focus on your own shit.
I get why they kind of did it, because at the time WWE was terrible.
This is true. But I just felt like they were pushed. They were so much more focused on it. Like it's one of those things, like kind of like I say when if WWE is going to mention AEW, like if it works in what you're doing, okay, but don't like stretch to it, because that's where I feel like Punk got hurt sometimes, is he was stretching to crack jokes on AEW when he could. But like there was that moment where the bald guy Rosenberg was like, "Oh, moveset," and Punk's like, "Don't say that. Only Mark say that." That was much funnier because it fit in the moment, and it was a shot at Hangman. Fine, but he wasn't like stretching to take shots at them. I feel like there was a point where Tony got so focused on that, and it was the TNA partnership they had was terrible for TNA. TNA was buried completely during that partnership, and Tony would just talk shit on their network, and no one was allowed to talk shit back to him. And we don't have that in TNA. I mean, you know, they've been able to take shots at Shawn Michaels or talk shit or look big. It's been a real partnership, and it's been fun to see, and it's going to be fun to watch it continue, which it clearly is going to, which I'm excited.
I like the idea that they decided to partner more with that. It's an NXT partnership. Basically.
Yes. Oh, it really is. It absolutely is.
Which works out, actually.
It absolutely is. And it's more of like, it's like your developmental minor league, whatever you want to call it. But, you know, everybody's got the eye on it. And then
I stopped calling it developmental. I really have. Because it's their third show. It's one of the best.
It's just like
a good show. It's a good show. I enjoy it.
It is. It's just your talent's going to be a little bit less right. That's why I don't usually want to go with like minor league. I always think of or developmental. I always just think of like college. Developmental I like in the sense because you're watching people grow and get better. Yeah, it really is. Yeah, you're professional, but you're getting paid, but you're not on the biggest stage yet, but you're working your way there. And clearly we've seen, and when people get called up in the right areas, Braun Breaker, Bianca Belair, Tiffany Stratton, they can shine. So no, I'm excited for it. It's been a good show. But yeah, those were the two PLEs or PPVs from this weekend. those were I enjoyed watching both of them, and I really enjoyed the watch along. And we had over 45 people hanging out with us for that. So yeah, if you haven't hung out with us for a live spaces yet, or you're not sure what to do, come on, check us out, or watch the replays here on our YouTube channel. I will clip them and post them as best I can. Anything else?
Stay tuned. Stay tuned for Thursday's special.
Yeah,
live show on YouTube, which is the AEW Dynamite review.
We watch the show, so you don't have to, and we watch every single segment. So we will break it all down so we can tell people what we think of it, make some jokes, have some fun, be interactive with the live show.
It's not all hate, by the way.
No, not at all. No, there's certain parts where we get mad. Usually if we don't like something, so far we've been proven that if we don't like something, we will try to give an idea of here's what I would like, or here's what could be better. You know, it's not like we're like, oh, boo, you suck. Not like, hey, like, okay, this isn't good, but if you did this like that, what about that? That was why the third episode was the one I first started clipping for the live show, because it was really a good conversation and good flow and talking about the shows. And so if people don't see all the segments, we can recap them for them. So yeah, it'll be fun. 8:45 p.m. Eastern right here on our YouTube page. I usually am able to get the studio built and have it up in the upcoming views by noon, 1 p.m. on Eastern most days. So come check us out. We'll have fun.
Yeah. Goal this week is like 10 to 15 likes. We're slowly moving up.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like much, folks, but it helps us.
Every little bit helps, and every more people involved, it's like, I feel like it tells you the unique views, and each time we've gone up, it started off with like 1 or 2, and then it kind of keeps going up from there. Also, stay tuned this Thursday. I should, after our live show, and I'll confirm it on the live show, I should be going on with This Is Awful, I think at 11 p.m. Eastern. So thank God I live on the West Coast.
I forgot something.
On this.
You have an announcement for the crowd on the classic match of the week thing coming up?
Oh yeah. Which one did I say? What was it? I said Roddy and Bret Hart from WrestleMania 8.
Yep.
The Intercontinental title match. Yeah. Where they really were able to use the should have hit him with the belt, should have not hit him with the belt. That move.
Yeah, so that'll be our next one of those too.
Huh?
So that'll be our next classic match review.
Yeah. No, I forgot about that. Yeah, I meant to say that yesterday. I had a note to say that yesterday during TNA and completely spaced. So thank you. That's a long watch along. Yeah, been a minute since we've done one of those since we were watching. I was trying to watch as much as I could prepare for Howard so I could at least seem like I knew what I was talking about. I feel like that worked out really well. So awesome. Well, shit. Anything else you got before we wrap it up?
That's it.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening. Please like, share, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. We appreciate each and every one of you, and we will catch you next time. Peace.
We appreciate you making it to the end of the video. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you.